What is going on, baby? Now that's a win for LSU. I don't care about the loss to Ole Miss. I don't care because, look, the defense is inexperienced. Brian Kelly said it himself. There's only 4 defensive players that had that position last year in terms of starting, right, with that defense. A lot of inexperience, a lot of guys being thrown into the fire, but man, they're bad. Man, they're bad. So to see the offense, to see Jayden Daniels put on a Heisman type of performance, put the team on his back, especially there at the end, him and Neighbors working fantastically together to really do some serious offensive work, baby. 15 for 21, 256 pass yards with 3 touchdowns. And then rushing with 133 rushing yards. I'm going to say it again. He had 256 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Rushing, he had 133 rushing yards on 15 attempts in a score. 15 carries, 133 yards, 8.9 yards a carry and a score. 4 total touchdowns, including him putting the entire team on his back at the end, man. Look, that's a Heisman caliber type of performance. I'm not going to say Jayden Daniels is even going to be top 3 for the Heisman. He's not. It's not likely, especially. But is it reassuring to see that? Absolutely. This is one of the best this is one of the best LSU offenses that we've seen in a long time. Look, that's how it is with the Saints, right? That's where my head is, right? Horrible offense with the Saints, beautiful defense. Then you flip it to LSU, beautiful offense, and a terrible defense. But at the end, I'm giving all the props to Jayden Daniels in that offense. The defense did hold tight at the end. They did hold tough. They forced, They forced that sack. To force a 4th and long, they go for it. LSU gets the stop, right? And then to seal the game at the end, they get the pick 6. So LSU defense showed out as well. I mean, how did Missouri do? Brady Cook, quarterback, he cooked that defense all game. Defense stood tough at the end, but that defense got cooked. 411 yards. Brady Cook was 30 for 47, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. One of those towards the end, of course. Cody Strader rushing with 114 yards. Look, that LSU defense gave up 8.8 yards per carry to their number 1 rusher. Receiving wise, we gave up 149. I mean, that whole secondary just got cooked. Listen to the stat line. 11 receptions for Luther Burden is what was allowed by that LSU defense, 149 yards. Then another 7 receptions for 80 yards. Another 4 receptions for 80 yards. 2 receptions for 42 yards. I mean, what was the team stats on it here? So 411 passing yards, 116 rushing yards, and LSU's defense gave up 7.8 yards a play. They gave up 24 first downs. Let's see. And then forced 2 turnovers. And then that LSU offense with 32 minutes time of possession. Both teams had 11 penalties, 66 total plays. Sorry, my kiddo's in the background. And then 6 for 12 on 3rd down. So look, defense held tight at the end. They were terrible all game, but that offense is an absolute college football powerhouse, baby. Led by Neighbors and Jayden Daniels. Huge fan. How did Neighbors do? What are his stats looking like? Neighbors had 143 receiving yards on 6 receptions. Which is huge. What's going on, Jerry? Downtown Saint. What's going on, brother? How are you? Brand new, happy to have you in the chat, Jerry. You an LSU fan as well as just diehard Saints. Look, we're going to be live tomorrow with the post game. And if y'all don't follow us already on Facebook, facebook.com/the.g.grunt. We go live every single game with a halftime report. In the last 4 years, I've only missed 1 halftime report, and it was when I was deathly sick. It was that London game. So we live with an explosive halftime report every single week. We'll be coming to you with that tomorrow. And then normally, we do a Madden stream on Facebook. Before the Saints games, Jerry, and Downtown Saint, whoever new we might have in here. But we will not be doing that. I'll be in Washington, D.C. on work. So I'll be still hitting up the halftime report. I'll be doing the post game, but I won't have like Madden and everything else. What's going on, Jay? Happy to see you in the chat, man. Happy to see you in the chat. Make sure I hit that subscribe button, that reaction if you hadn't already. But man, we fired up about these damn Tigers. I don't care about the 2 losses. And I'm going to go back to exactly what I was saying heading into the video. I don't care about these 2 losses. I wanted to see hope. Because going into the year, LSU was a national champion favorite for me. I talked them up. I was wrong. Defense isn't ready. And I don't feel bad about being wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong, right? And I'm wrong a lot more than I'm right. You can ask my wife. I'm wrong a lot, baby. Especially about that LSU team overall. But that offense is exactly what I thought they were going to be. I take that back. I hyped up this offense to be one of the best offenses since Joe Burrow, and they might be better than that. That not better than Joe Burrow, of course, but when it comes to just efficiency, I think they're the best offense the LSU Tigers have had since Joe Burrow. Obviously, I think that's the case. And then outside of the Joe Burrow-led offense, I can't think of an offense before that would match up to what Jayden Daniels is bringing to the table. So I would say this might be the third best offense that the LSU Tigers might have ever seen. I mean, based off my first 3 weeks that I've seen, or the first 2 weeks, that I've seen, right? 4-2, baby. I'm not mad at it. 4-2, I'm not mad at it. Hey, I enjoy being on the podcast, Jerry. I think honestly, I'm not sure what this means for Brian Kelly. And that's kind of the next topic here is, I'm not sure what this means for Brian Kelly. You bring him in from Notre Dame. Everybody talks about how Brian Kelly gets out coached in the big games. He can't win the big games consistently. You look at how he lost that big one to Florida State. He comes in losing this one to Florida State. But look, give him the keys to the castle. You give him the tools to the SEC. You get him the recruiters. You give him the transfer portal, you give him the recruiting tools. And Brian Kelly was supposed to turn this team into a powerhouse. And while I understand that he hasn't, I don't think the jury's out on him. I'm not even trying to really hate on Brian Kelly. I mean, I think we all have our own opinions. I think we can all be vocal with our concerns, especially for LSU as a whole, especially with that defense. But I think Brian Kelly just took over the team last year. He came in with Jayden Daniels, who was a fresh transfer. They did well last year. I mean, no one really expected much. I didn't expect 5 wins last year. I thought the Tigers were going to be really bad. I thought Jayden Daniels would be okay. I didn't think he would be great. I thought he'd be okay. I didn't think he'd be my complaint. I thought they would lack offense and defense. And Brian Kelly surprised me. And then last year, you had Perkins come in freshman. I'm not sure what he's doing this year, but the defense impressed me last year too. But overall, Brian Kelly did a phenomenal job with the team last year. Takes another big loss to Florida State. It's LSU, right? I mean, you got people that donate a lot of money to the school. It's a winning culture. And look, they don't tolerate anything. It's zero bullshit tolerance at LSU, right? And I understand that. I respect that. But it's Brian Kelly's second year. He looked great with them last year. And I think so far into this season, their offense looks like one of the best offenses across all of college football. And their defense, like I said at the beginning of the stream, is outside of 4 defensive players, all these guys are new faces. So while I don't think that they're going to go and compete for a national championship this year like I originally thought, I'm not mad at Brian Kelly. I want to see him perform better in big games. I want to see him coach better. But he has another year of excuses for me when it comes to that defense. As long as the offense can look this good, I don't care if we drop another couple games. I really don't. I mean, I wouldn't want to, of course, see him drop more than one more. But, you know, even if they were to drop 2 more, I have to look at the rest of the schedule. As long as the offense performs, I can't even be mad at Brian Kelly or the team as a whole. Now, you head into next year, and you see what Brian Kelly does with the defensive coordinator position. You see what he does with the transfer portal to see if we can't get some secondary pieces in there. You get a couple safeties, you get a DB, and then more pass rushers, right? And you got to see Perkins come back and be that same guy he was in his freshman year last year. But a lot has to happen, and my expectations will be that much higher next year for Brian Kelly. But as for the rest of this season, I'm not really in a whole panic mode as an LSU Tigers fan. That offense looks phenomenal. I think they have the rushers, and that's another thing too. I think they can bring in. I think they could probably go and acquire some more talent in terms of running the football. How do they do on the ground today? Let me see. I mean, Jayden Daniels, of course, with 15 rushes, 133 yards. Logan Diggs with 24 rushes for 134 yards rushing, 5.6 yards per carry, and a score from Logan Diggs. And then the next rusher was Josh Williams for 2 rushes for 10 yards. Still, I know, call me crazy, but I still think we need a rusher in there. Jayden Daniels is running the ball a lot. He's a true dual threat quarterback. He can run the ball. I mean, he looks like Justin Fields out there. If there was somebody I would have to compare him to, it would be Justin Fields, but he's got, better arm strength. And I don't know about decision-making skills. I think Justin Fields might have a little bit better IQ, I think. Outmatches him there, but if I have to look at a pro comparison, that's who I would compare Jayden Daniels to. But still, even then, you're looking at 15 carries. I think LSU can go get them a solid rusher solid running back next year, a solid pass rusher, a couple pieces in that secondary, and that offense comes back next year and performs. I mean, I got nothing but faith in Garrett Nussmeier to take over and be a great quarterback, a different style quarterback, but I think he'll do phenomenal. He may even fare better in this Brian Kelly offense than Jayden Daniels. I kind of compare Garrett Nussmeier. He kind of looks like Ian Book. Saints fan, right? Saints draft Ian Book. Ian Book looked pretty good at Notre Dame. Can't deny it, and that's big part thanks to Brian Kelly. I can see Garrett Nussmeier running, kind of a similar scheme offensively. We go get, like I said, another running back to help fill that void when Jayden Daniels gets, when he gets drafted next year in the second round, which will happen. He might mess around, become a first-round pick the way he's balling, but, probably early to mid-second round Jayden will go. And if they can get a solid running back to come through and replace that, as long as the rest of the defense and Garrett Nussmeier can take that leap, which I think he will in that Brian Kelly offense, LSU will be great. LSU will be great. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the year. It sucks to see them kind of, in my opinion, eliminated from playoff contention so early into the season. But overall, baby, I love my Tigers. I love my Tigers. Not LSU, I'm glad they got the win. I just love watching college. Me too. So who's your teams, Jerry? So that's my thing too. So I'm a huge LSU fan, obviously, but I have other teams. I love Notre Dame. I love what Coach Prime. I'm going to show respect. Respect is due. Coach Prime over there with Colorado. Love watching them this year. Florida State. I mean, it sucks because they beat us, right? But they're kind of fun to watch. Travis Hunter, they've been fun to watch this year. Not a big fan of USC. Drake May, right? Love seeing what UNC's doing. I love watching Kentucky. I think they have a great coaching staff. The University of Kentucky, it's a basketball program. They've taken a huge leap forward, I think, in terms of college football the last couple seasons. So I love that. I love their whole coaching staff over in Kentucky. They've been fun to watch. Let's see. Central Florida. I like to watch Michigan. There's a lot of teams I like to watch, man. College football in general is last. Hey, I appreciate it. I want that share, GG. You don't want this share, man. You don't want this share. I've had this share for like 5 years. It's, you don't see how bad it looks down here, but it's all cracked and stuff. And, oh, man. I got to get a new chair. I appreciate it. I got to get a new chair. I'm excited for you guys to see the new house. We move at the end of the month. And the new house, we're going to have a whole, streamer setup. Pretty hyped. It's going to be, I'll explain it. The house we bought, it's on 20 acres. And there's, a garage. That was, an auto shop that's on the property. Got, 2-car garage, and it's got a little office in the back. The office in the back is going to be essentially like this, like the office, the studio. And then I'm going to have a separate podcast studio. That's going to be where I'm going to bring on live guests. It's going to be huge. I'm excited. We better take a huge leap forward. That's just the beginning. But that's all I really have. I'm hyped about this LSU team. I can't wait for the Saints tomorrow. I'm ready for the rest of football season. But LSU's got me in a good mood. Maybe it's because I'm just starving to see some offense after watching the Saints struggle to score 17 a game, right? Averaging 15.5 yards a carry. My God! Or per game, excuse me, my God. But hopefully, maybe, possibly, coincidentally, this LSU offensive luck will translate into the Saints tomorrow. But you know how it is, right? LSU does well. The Saints suffer. It's just rare to see them both do well on the same weekend. But hey, they both sucked last weekend. So maybe we're due a weekend where they both perform. That's all I have for you guys. I appreciate y'all. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. And as always, who dat, we dat, believe that. Don't forget to hit that sub button. Hit that like, hit the bell icon so you don't miss another upload if you are enjoying the content. We got more coming at you all season long. Thank you for the support. I'm out.